A 35-year-old English teacher sits in a tiny apartment in Hangzhou, China, with 17 friends crammed into one room. They're sitting on the floor because there aren't enough chairs. Jack Ma stands in front of them holding a whiteboard marker. He's pitching an idea that sounds completely insane. He wants to build a website that connects Chinese manufacturers with buyers around the world. It's called Alibaba. Nobody believes it will work. China barely has internet. Most people don't own computers. E-commerce doesn't exist in China. His friends think he's crazy. But Jack Ma doesn't care. He's been rejected his entire life. He failed his primary school exams twice. He failed his middle school exams 3 times. He applied to university and was rejected. He took the college entrance exam and failed. He took it again and failed again. He took it a 3rd time and barely passed. He applied to Harvard Business School 10 times. They rejected him every time. He applied for 30 different jobs after college. He was rejected by all 30. He even applied to KFC when they opened in China. 24 people applied. 23 were hired. Jack Ma was the only one rejected. But Jack Ma never stopped trying. And now, in this tiny apartment with no money, no investors, and no experience in technology, he's about to start a company that will become one of the most valuable in the world. Today, Alibaba is worth over $200 billion. Jack Ma became one of the richest people on earth. And it all started because he refused to accept rejection. This is the story of how being the only person rejected by KFC became the fuel that built a global empire. Let's rewind to 1964. Jack Ma was born in Hangzhou, China during the Cultural Revolution. His family was poor. His parents were traditional musicians and storytellers, which meant they had no money and little social status. Jack was a small, skinny kid. He wasn't good at math. He wasn't good at science. He failed his primary school exams twice. Teachers said he was slow. His parents worried he'd never amount to anything. But Jack loved English. When he was a teenager, he would ride his bike to a nearby hotel where foreign tourists stayed. He'd offer free tours of the city just so he could practice speaking English with them. He did this every day for 9 years. The tourists loved him. One Australian family even gave him the English name Jack because his Chinese name Ma Yun was too difficult for them to pronounce. Jack became fluent in English, but he still struggled in school. He failed the college entrance exam, called the Gaokao, twice. The first time, his math score was 1 out of 120. 1. The second time, he scored 19. After failing twice, most people would give up. But Jack took the exam a 3rd time. He studied obsessively. This time, he passed. Barely. He got into Hangzhou Normal University to study English. It wasn't a prestigious school, but it changed his life. After graduating in 1988, Jack became an English teacher. He was a good teacher. His students loved him, but he only made $12 a month. He wanted more. In 1995, Jack visited the United States for the first time as a translator. Someone showed him the internet. Jack had never seen a computer before. He searched for the word beer and found results for American beer, German beer, Japanese beer, but nothing for Chinese beer. He searched for China and found almost nothing. Jack realized the internet had huge potential, but China wasn't part of it yet. He decided to change that. When he returned to China, Jack started a small internet company called China Pages. It was one of the first internet companies in China, but it failed. Jack didn't understand technology. He didn't know how to code. Investors didn't believe in him. The company went nowhere. Jack was devastated, but he didn't quit. In 1999, Jack gathered 18 friends in his tiny apartment. Most of them were former students and colleagues. He told them about his new idea, Alibaba, a website that would help small Chinese businesses sell their products to international buyers. His friends were skeptical. The internet was still new in China. E-commerce didn't exist. Nobody shopped online. Most people didn't even have computers. But Jack was passionate. He gave an emotional speech. He told them this would be hard. They would fail many times. They might not make money for years. But if they succeeded, they could change China. 17 of them agreed to join him. They each contributed a little money. In total, they raised $60,000. That was the starting capital for Alibaba. For the first 3 years, Alibaba made no profit. They were running out of money. Investors weren't interested. American .com companies were getting millions in funding. But nobody wanted to invest in a Chinese e-commerce company run by an English teacher who didn't know how to code. Jack applied to venture capital firms in Silicon Valley. He was rejected over and over. One investor told him, "Jack, you don't understand the internet. Go back to teaching." But Jack refused to give up. In 1999, Jack went back to the United States to pitch Alibaba to investors. He met with Goldman Sachs. They rejected him. He met with over 30 venture capital firms. They all said no. Finally, in late 1999, Jack met with a firm called SoftBank. The founder, Masayoshi Son, listened to Jack's pitch. 6 minutes into the presentation, Masayoshi stopped him. "I've heard enough," he said. "I'm in." Masayoshi invested $20 million in Alibaba. It was the lifeline Jack needed. With that funding, Alibaba grew rapidly. Jack focused on helping small businesses. While other e-commerce sites targeted big corporations, Alibaba was built for mom-and-pop shops, small manufacturers, and entrepreneurs. It was a marketplace where anyone could sell anything. By 2003, Alibaba launched Taobao, a consumer-to-consumer platform like eBay. Experts said it would fail because eBay already dominated China. But Jack made Taobao free to use, while eBay charged fees. Within 2 years, Taobao crushed eBay in China. eBay withdrew from the Chinese market entirely. Alibaba kept growing. They launched Alipay, a payment system like PayPal. They launched Tmall, an online shopping platform. They expanded into cloud computing, logistics, and entertainment. In 2014, Alibaba went public on the New York Stock Exchange. It was the largest IPO in history at the time, raising $25 billion. Alibaba's market value soared to over $230 billion. Jack Ma, the English teacher who failed the college entrance exam 3 times and got rejected by KFC, became one of the richest people in the world. His net worth reached over $40 billion. So what happened? Jack failed the Gaokao twice, failed to get into Harvard, failed to get hired for 30 jobs, and was even rejected by KFC. But he never saw rejection as the end. He saw it as training. He kept trying. Jack didn't know how to code. He wasn't a tech genius. But he had vision. He saw the potential of the internet in China when nobody else did. And he built a team of people who believed in that vision. When investors rejected Alibaba, Jack didn't give up. He kept pitching. He kept refining his idea. And when Masayoshi Son finally said yes, Jack was ready. Jack didn't try to compete with American companies by copying them. He built Alibaba for China. He understood Chinese small businesses. He made Taobao free when eBay charged fees. He adapted to his market instead of forcing a foreign model. Jack Ma failed his exams, got rejected by KFC, and was told he'd never succeed. But he refused to believe it. He built Alibaba from a $60,000 investment into a $200 billion empire. Because sometimes the people who get rejected the most are the ones who change the world.